Finally, he is back, the crowd's favorite, the Spider Slayer, the one who dreams of having unique fight until his death. After his return and near death, now stronger and somewhat different, he has some out-of-the-box thoughts and mentions that the current events, which in this case were the Chimera ants, do not bring what he needs to have fun. So, is he really on another level now? Not even the king was worthy of his appearance, but he explains that he wants to fulfill this dream with a human. Well, all of this and the Troupe's tactics in another insane chapter of this manga. Hurry to subscribe, and let's talk more about him, Hisoka, or rather them, since now there are two. Want to know why? Stay tuned to the entire video and let's get started. Before we begin, I want to raise a question. Is now the right time to reintroduce Gon, Killua, and Nanika because everything is somehow connected to them and so that he can explore Nin again? Who knows? Maybe he will be shown with his current training or something similar. Comment below. That said, we saw that the battle between Hisoka and Crawlo did not occur at the same time as the Chimera Ants arc. In the manga, the epic fight between Hisoka and Crawlo happens during the Dark Continent arc, specifically at the Nebula Sketch Auction, while the Chimera Ants arc is an earlier and distinct saga. So, considering that he was somewhat focused on the fight and not sensing the none of the enemies is something that can be dismissed, he is extremely perceptive and can sense the presence and power of none, although it's not explicitly shown that he can do so at long distances. His talent for manipulation and combat analysis makes him a formidable opponent, even without this specific long-distance detection ability. But we cannot accurately say that he sensed their none, but he was close when he felt Nanika, and even then, he didn't feel the desire to fight her. Hisoka, a fighter eager for exciting and challenging battles, seeks opponents who can test his own combat skills and strategies. In the case of Nanika, the fight would not be a fair or interesting confrontation for Hisoka, as Nanika's power operates in a realm of reality manipulation that goes beyond typical physical fights and nin abilities. Facing Nanika does not provide Hisoka with the thrill of a balanced duel full of strategy that he values so much. Additionally, Hisoka is a shrewd strategist who avoids confrontations where the risks are incalculable or unjustifiable. Facing Nanika could result in unpredictable and potentially fatal consequences, which does not align with Hisoka's goals of finding worthy opponents in battles he can control and manipulate. So, evaluating the situation, Hisoka decided that fighting Nanika was neither sensible nor interesting, preferring to focus his efforts on opponents who offer direct and exciting challenges on the battlefield. Anyway, in the current chapter 405 of Hunter x Hunter, Hisoka's appearance is an electrifying moment. He appears in a casino on level 1, reflecting on his indifference to the Chimera Ants. For Hisoka, these creatures do not represent a real challenge. He believes he is stronger than the Ant King, Meruem, and therefore fighting them would not satisfy his desire for exciting battles against skilled human opponents. Hisoka is always seeking fights that can test his limits, and after his near-death at the hands of Crawlo, many wonder if this is a new Hisoka, colder and more calculating, with an even stronger desire to prove his strength, but more grounded and not reaching for the sky, a good way to define him and his current words. Hisoka, known for his unpredictable and sadistic personality, found a new purpose after his near-death. He is more focused than ever on finding worthy opponents and proving his superiority. His combat skills, combined with his killer instinct, make him a formidable adversary. His appearance at the casino on level 1 is not just a search for entertainment, but a deliberate hunt for real challenges. He is aware that the Succession War offers him the opportunity to face powerful opponents, each with unique and deadly abilities, but he also questions the beastly nun powers, involving some kind of ritual. He wants someone original. Could it be Hisoka's fate to face Jing freaks, or maybe even beyond Netero, perhaps in the future? Meanwhile, we have Bonolenov, a member of the Phantom Troupe, who assumes Hisoka's identity to infiltrate the Mafia. He uses this strategy to locate the real Hisoka, but ends up making a fatal mistake by killing Lynch. This act reveals his true identity and heightens the tension between the Mafia families, especially the Hyolai and Char Wang. The ability to disguise himself as Hisoka shows an impressive level of skill and raises questions about what more Bonolenov could do in the Succession War, a conflict full of tricks and intrigue. Bonolenov is a skilled fighter with a body covered in tribal tattoos that represent his cultural heritage and unique combat techniques. He is capable of using his distinctive fighting style to deceive and disorient his opponents. By disguising himself as Hisoka, Bonolenov demonstrates his ability to adapt and strategic intelligence. However, his failure in killing Lynch reveals a vulnerability that can be exploited by his enemies. The infiltration into the Mafia not only complicates the situation for Bonolenov, but also jeopardizes the position of the Phantom Troupe in the Succession War, as they aim to avoid setbacks and stay free to pursue the real Hisoka, especially since the Mafia seeks to separate them in the sense that they don't suffer more losses. On the other side, Morena's presence is another crucial point in the chapter. She uses Hockenberg's funeral as an opportunity to advance her own dark goals. Morena sends dogmen, with the ability to identify non-users, to locate a target during the event. Additionally, she plans other actions against Hinrai, further expanding the web of conflicts. Her ability to manipulate and strategize places her as a central figure in the plot, always pulling the strings from behind the scenes. Morena, the leader of the Hyalai family, is a calculating and ruthless figure. Her ability to identify non-users through dogmen is a valuable asset in an environment where everyone possesses dangerous abilities. She can anticipate her enemies' moves and manipulate events to her advantage. Morena is a skilled strategist who uses both brute force and intelligence to achieve her goals. Her plan to use Hockenberg's funeral as a platform for her own schemes demonstrates her ability to turn seemingly neutral events into power opportunities. With the Phantom Troupe involved in the case, it suggests that Morena is willing to do anything to create chaos and achieve her objectives. Additionally, the Mafia's plans for the Phantom Troupe demonstrate the complexity of alliances and betrayals that define this part of the story. The Mafia sees the troupe as a significant threat and develops elaborate strategies to deal with them, adding an extra layer of intrigue and danger to the narrative. Each member has unique abilities that make them formidable opponents. Their entry into the Succession War adds chaos and unpredictability to the plot. The ability of each member to fight independently or as a group makes the troupe a force to be reckoned with. The Mafia, aware of the threat the troupe represents, develops strategies to neutralize them, but this only intensifies the battle for power. In this chapter, all these elements intertwine in a way that only Togashi knows how to do. Hisoka, with his unpredictable and brutal style, is a magnetic force that attracts both allies and enemies. Bonolenov, trying to imitate Hisoka, triggers a series of events that further complicate the situation. Morena, manipulative and calculating, moves her pieces on the board masterfully, while the Phantom Troupe adds a dose of chaos and danger. These interactions create a scenario of high tension and uncertainty. Each character brings their own motivations and abilities, and when their paths cross, the result is a rich and dynamic narrative. The relationship between these factions and characters is tense and unpredictable, making the plot development even more exciting. Hisoka, with his ability to manipulate and deceive, puts everyone on alert. Bonolenov shows that even a small mistake can have devastating consequences. Morena uses the situation to her advantage, showing that she is a formidable opponent. And the Phantom Troupe, with their unique abilities, can change the course of events at any moment. When observing Hisoka, we see a character who has become even more meticulous and calculating after his resurrection. He not only seeks opponents but also prepares for challenges that test his own existence. His combat skills are enhanced, making him a greater threat than ever. His presence in the casino is not just for entertainment, but a deliberate hunt for challenges. Who could be the opponent he is searching for? Could it be Morena or one of the princes? We'll find out soon enough. Another interesting idea would be imagining a rematch against Krallo without preparation. That's a topic for another video. Well, that's all for today, so until next time.